What's up, people, and welcome to another Tuesday Thoughts. I'm gonna keep trying to keep this recurring weekly because things happen through the week, and you're like, you know what, I should talk about this. So today is about protecting your credit, and I want you to understand this is not a bitter thing where it's men against women, women against men. Whether man or woman, protect your credit at all costs. Don't allow it to be damaged by something that you have the opportunity to control. And what do I mean by that? Stop co-signing for people. Stop letting people use your credit. Stop buying stuff in your name and then thinking they're going to make a payment on it. Because unless if they fall short of making the payments, you can afford it yourself. So say, for instance, you decide to put a car in your name to let your peoples drive it. Right? Say they missed the payment. Oh, man, I can't pay it. Okay, cool. Give me the car back. And then you make the payments on it because now you have two vehicles. You know what I mean? This is the thing that you want to understand. You don't give out something that no matter what happens, you're the only one that gets damaged. This is just being honest. You can't give out something that only affects you and not have things in place to protect yourself. Right now, if you look at my previous videos, I talked about a house where it says, nice guys get disrespected. You can go ahead and check that video out. I won't say a lot about it, but my credit was messed up because of that property. And with it being messed up, I have been working to get the house repaired so I can then sell it, right? Now, I'll get more deeper into the story later on, but the reason I'm explaining this is because I want you to understand that I'm speaking about this from a place of truth, and I'm not just throwing some stuff out here, protect your credit, protect your credit. No, the reason I'm telling you this is because I see what it is like to not have my credit where it originally was and how it affects me because of it. Now, I do not miss payments. I've been making payments straight for God knows how long. But when I started working on credit, it was over 10 years ago. Got myself up to 733 or 723 or something like that. But because the person I used to deal with that had control of an aspect of where my credit could be affected, dropped my credit score 160 points. Now, even to this day, the conversations that were had previously, because I do not speak to the individual no more because until they pay what they owe, they acted as if this wasn't a big deal. Everyone knows credit makes things happen. And when you act as if this is not a big deal, oh, thank you for your patience. What do you mean patience? If you knew you couldn't pay something, let the person know. But see, we think that people should act the way we do, and that's not how the game works. You have to understand that you have to keep on these people's neck. You have to keep your foot on their neck in order to make sure that they do it. Because if you ain't the person that controls their real aspects of movement, they're not going to honor it. They're not going to pay it. And if they do pay it, it's only under the premise that it benefits them. Not that it's the right thing to do, only if it benefits them. Because the moment that it doesn't, they will slack on it. And when they slack on it, they'll be like, well, what do you want me to do? Honor your word. So that's why you got to protect your credit. You got to protect what you are allowing people access to, because I'm telling you, I used to be able to get loans like that. No problem. They'd be like, oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, come on. Yeah, boom. Get it, pay it, boom. No problems. Now, we trying to get this house worked on and trying to use leverage to get what I need to get it 100% completed has been rough. I am now seeing what it's like for all them for 10 years. I want you to understand. I worked my credit, had it nice for 10 years. It took 6 months to ruin it. All it took was 6 months. Boom. Now it's like, oh man, your credit history sucks. 6 months versus 10 years, over 10 years, that shows you why it's important to make sure you do not allow people into that space to where they can mess you up. Because once again, unless you can afford it, if they decide not to pay, if they try to get slick, if they just say never mind, get wishy-washy, you can still cover what needs to be covered so you don't catch the L for it. Like, yeah, you'll catch the L because you got to pay for whatever they're slacking on, but at the same time, you're able to control it and then maybe find a way around it. But this was I got behind the 8 ball and had to work my tail off to try to catch back up, and I'm still working. Like, yeah, my credit score has gone back up, but it ain't by that much, so I'm still working to fix that. But what I will say is, because those same people that you help them out with their things like that, it's the same thing as if you let somebody borrow $20. When it's time for them to pay up, they always say, well, here go your funky little 20. Oh, it wasn't funky when you needed it. But now all of a sudden, after you ruin what I've worked hard for, you act like you don't know what's really going on. And I've seen that a lot. I've heard stories, especially with me trying to get the money needed to get this house updated. Man, when I tell you the stories, when you say it's a woman that ruined my credit, even the tellers, the bank people, all of them all say, man, you ain't the first person I heard that story from. You see what I'm saying? So there's always the people we care about, the people we love. We extend these things out to them. And when we extend these things out to them, if things don't last, they still don't honor their end of the bargain. And that's the real problem. So that's why you can't trust people with these type of things, because say, for instance, they get mad at you and don't want to pay. They know what it's doing. They know that it's messing you up, but they don't care. So that's why you have to protect your credit and build it, practice, learn, understand what you're dealing with, because this thing with credit, man, once it started, it took over, and it's a big deal. Yeah, cash is king for a lot of us, especially if you're in the older world, like, but if you're part of that generation where it was before credit really popped up, before the credit cards really got to hitting heavy where you could just tap and swipe and all of that, you understood cash made movements. But once credit got in, all of us understood that once you learn the game, you can use credit to your benefit. And when your credit gets messed up, you see how bad it stifles you in making movements. So that's why you want to protect your credit. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments section, and be on the lookout for more videos. All right, everybody? Peace.